I'm so excited to introduce you to Wendy, who's become a friend. She is an amazing author of several books on adulting with autism and has personal experience, lived experience, as well as professional experience. So she brings a great perspective to all of us. So tell us about you.
Well, I, I'd love to. Uh, my lived experience is familial. I'm not autistic myself, although I've been called quirky, and I take it as a compliment. My late husband and two of our three children were all late diagnosed as autistic. I'd been working with preschool and toddlers who are autistic for years, testing them for the schools. And I did not recognize that I was living with autistic folk because it looks so different. Um,
Well, it was our normal. And
it was.
it was our normal. So we didn't think about it as, yeah.
We didn't think about it. We were an autism majority family.
Yes.
Myself and my daughter were the two typical, whatever typical means.
Yeah.
Neuro majority, but in the minority. And then our youngest was diagnosed. And when they first suggested it, I thought, I don't think so. But I'm going to be the cool mom, and I'm going to say, I'll think about that. I'll consider it. And then we learned more about what they used to call Asperger's and realized that, oh my gosh, it's not just the youngest, it's the oldest. And around the time I'm wondering, what should I tell my husband? He's bringing out the list saying, well, this is me now. This was me as a child. This and this, that was me as a child. Totally. This is me now. And he just self-identified, but we got everybody officially diagnosed. And there it was. So when I retired in 2016, I decided I didn't, the kids are going to be okay. There are lots and lots of programs for autistic children, support for autistic children, books written for autistic, for parenting autistic children or teaching autistic children. So I decided to shift into the adults because my kids were adults. And I thought I'd write a book, but then I ended up writing about 10 of them. I love writing, and I enjoyed that very much. And for a while, I started a group practice for assessing autistic adults, and I hired therapists from across the country, and most of them were autistic themselves because they get it. And then I retired again, sold the practice, and moving on. And now I'm just focusing on the books and maybe doing some speaking. I love guesting on podcasts like yours, and I'm right about to launch my own podcast, which I hope you will come and be a guest on.
I'd love to.
It's called Amplifying Autism, and because I'm not autistic, I want to elevate and share the voices of actually autistic folk who know, or neurodivergent folk
Yes.
who know what, from the inside. I can know as a spouse, as a parent, as a colleague, as a friend, but it is different when you are. So those are the people I want to share their stories.
Wonderful idea. Because there are, well, if you believe the statistics, between 3 and maybe 5% of the world's population is autistic. It may be. So that's
maybe more.
So there we are with our guess of, what would that be? 240 to 400 million people.
It's a lot.
Range. And yet it remains a puzzle. And I think there's some prejudice out there. Like they should be different. Why are they giving me such a hard time? Why is life so much harder? Why does it seem so hard for them? Why do they come up against these challenges and not navigate them like I did?
That is so true. But, you can't treat autism by saying, just do it. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Try harder. I mean, we wouldn't tell a blind person, look more closely at those letters. If you tried hard enough, you'd be able to read it. Or someone in a wheelchair, you're just lazy. Get up and walk, use your legs. We don't, because those are disabilities that we're aware of and that we understand a little better. And yet with autism, so many families and teachers and people working with autistic folk expect that they should be able to do better.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like you can't will yourself out of being diabetic. You have to, you know, whatever it is that your condition is, you have to live with that and live the best life that you possibly can within your parameters. But you're not just going to say, okay, I'll quit being autistic because it's not working for me. Uh,
I
it's
take
just,
a thyroid pill every morning
uh-huh,
because I have that Hashimoto's condition. You can
uh,
see it, but my mom had it and I have it. So, but without that, I would dwindle into a puddle of no energy. So,
that,
aren't we lucky that we can diagnose these things and
yes,
recognize that that there are differences that are biological?
yeah. And you can make your life better by taking whatever you need to take.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean you're going to snap your fingers and say, I don't have Hashimoto's anymore. Um, I mean, there are some things like you get a cold, you get over it.
Yes.
But autism is not like a cold.
No, it's just the way the brain came together in the genetic.
Exactly. Yes, it's a different brain.
Yes.
It's only considered really a disability because it's in the minority.
There you
And the world is set up to be the best possible world for the most majority brain.
Yeah.
And that setup does not work for many people who are autistic.
No, that middle of the bell-shaped curve is very efficient and it's effective.
Yeah, for those middle people.
Yet there are those of us on the edges.
Yeah,
Lots of us.
it's true. It's true. And if we could flip that script, we might be able to have concerts or lectures or whatever, where instead of clapping, people would, show their appreciation silently. And it doesn't hurt anybody to do that instead of clapping. But loud applause is really painful for many people that I know. Excuse me.
Yep. Worries. That's why my daughter, one of my children always wears earplugs in any situation that could be loud. And I
Yeah.
have a pair, I have a set in my purse now because if they forgot, I got it.
Oh, mom's ready. I keep loop earplugs in my purse for when I go to the movies.
Yeah.
It's too loud for me. I don't have a sensory problem. I just don't want to listen to the music that loud.
Yes. Yeah, because when you walk out, your ears are ringing, so you know something is
Yeah, that's not right.
no, that's not good. No, no. Okay. So then you lost your husband though, right?
Yes. In 2009, he had a heart attack.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he was 54.
Only.
Yeah, it was a surprise, obviously.
Dang. So what do you miss about him the most? What are the things that what's the light that he brought to your life?
It was as if he was the other part of me. We had what I think you might call an enmeshed relationship. I mean, psychologists might say, "Oh, that's enmeshed. That's not healthy." But it totally worked for us until he died.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I have some like what you might call borderline autistic characteristics, which do not make me autistic. I do not believe that we're all a little bit autistic.
Yeah.
That's just wrong. But the fact that I too prefer quiet, small gatherings instead of big, loud parties, and I too would rather, spend time just alone together than whatever else we could do outside the house. Those were my preferences and his needs. And so you know, we just got along so well. For 27 years, we just got along so well. A friend of mine said it was like he was the lid to my teapot. We were a little matched set.
Oh.
And I knew that he would always have my back 100%. He would be there for me. And I believe he knew the same about me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, loyalty is something I see in a lot of autistic people.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes out in different ways. In the family, he was just devoted to be a family man, a husband and a father. That was something he'd always wanted and hoped for, and thought that he might not ever get it. We didn't meet and fall in love until we were in our very late 20s.
Okay.
So he was already thinking, maybe there's nobody for me. He didn't know he was autistic, but he did know that it was hard for him to make friends. It was hard for him to start relationships. But he so wanted to be a husband and a father, and he just that was everything to him. And when we had kids, and you try to work out all the it's like who's gonna do the childcare, who's gonna do what. We realized that my job, I'd been a teacher for 20 years, a special ed teacher, before I went back to school and became a licensed educational psychologist. But so my job had benefits and it paid pretty well. I mean, it's the public school, so nobody goes there to get rich, but it was enough. We did not have big needs. I will never complain about my public school income. I do believe that today teachers are paid so much less than they should be.
Yes.
It's like the cost of living goes up and the salary doesn't.
Yeah.
But it just made sense for him to stay home with the kids and me to keep going to work.
What a wonderful arrangement.
It was lovely. And it just worked out for us. I didn't have to worry because I knew that he adored them and would never let harm befall them, if he could help it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And luckily they were all teens or young adults by the time that he died. So they did get to spend their childhood with him.
Oh, I'm sure they made many, many marvelous memories.
I think so. We lived a quiet life, but it was the perfect life for us.
Yes. Oh, that's so wonderful. And now you're writing about it in a way where you, I think, break things down. Let me ask this question because it's just top of mind for me in my situation. Where did you see anxiety play a role in your family?
Anxiety plays a huge role. And I learned even before I knew that he was autistic, I discovered one time, because I would go off to work and I would say, oh, the phone company is still doing some weird thing with they won't fix it. They say it's an outside wire problem. And we've done the test and we said, no, it's inside. You need to come fix it. Back when we didn't have cell phones. And I would go to work and say, oh, could you call the phone company for me while we're gone? I mean, not for me, for our family. And he'd say, of course, I will do it. And by the time he spent any amount of time being put on hold, listening to a robot, being put on hold, being transferred to someone else, it was so stressful for him, he would go to bed for the rest of the day. It was just too much to cope with. All that social, but not really. It was stressful. And once I found that out, I just said, oh, you don't do that anymore. I'll do that. I mean, I can make a phone call on my lunch break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And things like he was an excellent driver, but I couldn't have like a conversation that mattered while he was driving. It was difficult for him to, do more than one thing in that sort of a situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So figured out what the anxiety-provoking triggers were, and then make that on, or we'll figure out how to modify the demand.
Yeah. And because anxiety is so prevalent still in our household, we just have to see how we can reduce the stress. Right now, we're not watching the news at all. The news is going to happen whether we see it or not.
Right.
And if it's going to affect us, somebody, one of my sisters is going to text me and tell me what's happening if I need to know. Mm-hmm. So it's better for us all if we don't watch the news on television. We'll watch, Murder, She Wrote, or Midsummer Murders. It all ties up neatly at the end, and it's a little bit old-fashioned because it was from the 80s. We need low-stress TV in our life.
That's a real smart strategy.
I'm sure my kids came up with they're smart.
So I think that I see that reflected in your books, where you go right to the practical in most of the books.
Oh,
In what I've read so far. Yeah, because I haven't read them all. I would love to.
well, ask your librarian.
Yes.
One thing that I enjoyed in writing the books was for every chapter that had like a topic, and these are nonfiction books, so it's like I have to put in stuff about whatever the subject is. So if it's dating while autistic, or relating while autistic for couples, or parenting while autistic, there's so many books out there for parents of autistic kids. I couldn't find any books for autistic parents, so I wrote one. And every chapter has, information, because that's my job. But then after I put out here's the information, I create a number of fictional characters. And for each of those characters, I show how that situation might have affected them differently, or what strategies they used to handle that issue. And each one of the characters has maybe a different solution, or tries different things that don't work and then finds something that does work. And by including that, I'm hoping to give autistic folk ideas that you can solve problems on your own like these did. And if these three don't work, maybe that one will work for you. But even more importantly than my fictional characters, which I have fun writing, is at the end of every chapter, I have a little paragraph or an anecdote or something written by actually autistic folk. Because, who knows? So and as someone who's not autistic, and sometimes people think I am, which is fine with me, except that I don't want to claim something, that is not true. So I want to make sure that I am amplifying those voices and getting their exact feelings and responses and strategies and ideas and their wisdom out in the books.
How do you find those people?
Well, I know some of them.
Yes.
Excuse me. I mean, some of them were people that I've worked with. And some are, my kids, and some are friends of mine who happen to be autistic, and some are people that I had tested in the past. I have a newsletter. So if anybody wants my newsletter, let me know.
Okay. Okay.
But I would put it out there. I would say, here's what I'm looking for. If you have a story about this topic or that topic, and you want to share it with me, then I'll send you a free signed book after the book is published. If I use your and I've used everybody who has offered me something, I have used, because they all have something good to say.
Yes. So it's not just you as the authority. You're saying, I think this might work. I think this could work with a fictional character, but here's what a real character says.
Yes. Yeah.
Real autistic person says.
That's right. The actually autistic folks know what's true for them.
I love that approach. Yeah. So, okay. So, oh, wow. How do we find your books? Where do we
Okay. Well, if you search online, the name that I write under is my full name, Wendela Whitcomb Marsh. Wendela has one L. Wendela. Whitcomb is Whitcomb, and Marsh, Marsh, like marshmallow without the mellow. And if you search online, you'll find, if you use Amazon, some people think Amazon has enough money already, or, wherever you like to go to find books, some of them are on Audible. And I always tell people, ask your librarian, because none of us has all the dollars and all the bookshelf space in the world to be able to buy every single book we want to read. But the library does. They have the bookshelf available. So if your librarian doesn't have any of my books, they might ask another library to, send one over, or they might buy it.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah. I'm sure.
And I'm sure my publishers would rather have me saying, buy my books, than ask your librarian. Actually, they're not pushy about trying to make a lot of money. Their goal, like mine and like yours, is to put out information that helps autistic folk. Future Horizons Publishing is like 100% autism, neurodiversity, sensory. That's all they do. They're not just looking to publish any old book. They have a mission, and I love partnering with them.
Oh, that's wonderful. And my copy is a Kindle version.
Oh, okay. So Kindle has it.
Kindle, it's yes, which is lovely because I don't want to have any more books to dust.
Ah, I know the feeling. There's only so many places to put new books.
I mean, there's over 2,000 in this house. That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
And
But how many can you fit on your device when you get a Kindle? It's like
it's
unlimited.
and you can search on and you can highlight things, and you can download your highlights, and you can, it's just it gives me more flexibility that I really need, because I want to be able to quote you or quote, one of the people you quoted when I'm teaching, and have that at my fingertips, literally, is really helpful to me.
It makes it so easy. I've been doing auditory books because I'd been having trouble with my eyes. I'm getting older. Although I just had some not work done, but like I was having problems with my cornea, and they fixed it. So now I can read better. But for a while, I could not read the small print at all.
Right. If that's another advantage of the Kindles, you can make the print
You can make it big. And with the Audible books or auditory, it's not necessarily one type, but one brand, but different ways to get them in the audio. I can listen to them when I drive. It's just, makes it a little easier to get the books in that I want to get in.
Yes, yes, because there are more than there are time, right?
There are so many books out there. I love it.
So you have raised 3 autistic children, now young adults.
Actually, 2 are autistic. The other one is disabled, but not with autism.
Okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways brains come together. So
right.
What, give us parents some words of wisdom that you've accumulated over the years.
Well, I wish I were as wise as but I think for the most part, I would say to parents, you've got this. You love your kids unconditionally. And that is the thing. There may be times when there's like a situation with your kid when you think, I need to be the strong parent and I need to discipline them for this. But maybe it's more important to them that you just take a pause and just listen to them and not be the disciplinarian all the time. I mean, obviously for safety, we can't let them do unsafe things. It's our job to keep them alive. But, well, I was so blessed to have really good parents. I don't know how I lucked out, but when I was about 13, I was having a conversation with my dad that I can't remember what it was about, but he kept pressing me and asking me questions about something that I did not want to talk about. I just didn't. And I finally blurted out, "Shut up," which was not something we ever said to, it was like, that was the S word. We did not say that to anyone, much less our parents. And then I stormed off, just devastated. What have I done? Right. No one has ever done a worse thing than this. So I'm off sitting on the couch in the back room, just thinking, what will be my punishment? This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And my dad eventually walked down, just quietly sat down beside me, and he apologized. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't notice how strongly you felt about not talking about that. I should have been paying a better attention. I should have stopped sooner. And I'm sorry." And of course I said, "No, I'm sorry. I was wrong, But to apologize when you were not in the wrong, that is such a gift that all these, half a century later, I remember that so clearly.
Wow.
So parents, if there's a time that you can apologize to your child or to say, I was wrong, I made this rule because I thought this was important and I didn't realize how difficult it would be for you. Let's work together to find a rule that works to, to keep you safe or to get the jobs done that we have to do in life. You have to get up and get ready and go to school, but in a way that is supportive, not punishing. Because the times that you didn't come down hard on them are the times that they will cherish.
Wow, that's a big lesson. Oh, thank you for sharing that. You just came alive because you could remember and picture the whole thing.
Yeah. And that was a long time ago.
What an impact he had on you and that conversation had on you. Wow.
Yeah, and parents do have that power.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one more story. When my oldest child, I did not know that they were autistic. I did not know that they did not have like the kind of motor sensory of where you are in the world with your body. I thought maybe sometimes they were clumsy. And I had a cookie jar that was black with red cherries on it and a little china lid that sat on there. And I loved that. I had saved up to buy that cookie jar because they were not cheap. And we were living on a school teacher salary. So we did not buy. And one time when my oldest went to the kitchen to bring cookies in for us to eat, they moved too quickly and the lid fell off and broke.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed, but it's like, accidents happen. Mm-hmm. And that then became the jar that I put like wooden spoons and whisks and things in. Later on, it was my birthday the next year, and the jar was there again in the store. So I bought a new one to put cookies in with a lid. And, this is like maybe a year later. It was not in recent memory, but the same oldest child went off to get that cookie jar, and I heard the crash
Again.
And I thought, I can't afford to buy another one of those. And I went rushing in, and there were big eyes holding the cookie jar, broken things on the phone, and I could feel a yell coming up. Now, we didn't usually yell at our kids. That was not our style. That was not our temperament. We were not yellers. But I could feel a yell coming up in my throat, and all I could do was shape it as it came out of my mouth. So I yelled, I love you more than cookie jar lids. I love you more than cookie jar lids. And just the relief. And, it's like, are you okay? Did you get cut? Okay, we'll clean it up. We'll go on. And then I had two things that I could put my wooden spoons and whisks in. And the truth is, those things didn't matter. Cookie jars don't matter. People matter. And if we can manage to shape the yell before it gets onto the air, if we can keep it back until it can have kindness in it, because we know that our words hurt, because we've all been hurt by words. So that was my lesson in quick, don't say it, shape it, change it before it comes out.
Wow. Oh, I can think of something I could have done this morning where I could have shaped the words. I will never forget that. That just is an image of the words coming out and then shaping. I will never forget that. And the words hurt.
And I just need to acknowledge that that may be that my temperament allowed me, and the fact that I had to run all the way to the kitchen, which bought me a little time, and may have allowed for me to do that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to make parents feel bad when sometimes the yell comes out and they can't shape it. Mm-hmm. The thing to do is, if you need to apologize, you apologize, because sometimes people yell at each other. Sometimes people say hurtful words, but apologies after the hurtful whatever comes out, if it can't be shaped, mean a lot. And acknowledging, I was very upset, and those words came out before I could pull them back. And I wish that I had said this instead. That can do it too.
Very powerful, because we want to, my connection with my kids and everyone in my family matters more to me than anything.
Yes.
Anything in this world. So that's always the first priority. Always.
Yeah.
The connection, the relationship. And it's not easy.
It is not easy.
holy cow, there are a lot of things to learn that we don't get taught.
That is so true.
And we just finished 12 lessons in relationships inside the art of adulting and did a review yesterday of all of them. And we ranked ourselves, and it was like, I was, on a scale of 1 to 10, the typical thing to do. And
Yeah.
my son was so cute. He teaches with me, and he said, very few of us are really that self-aware. So maybe we ought to take any one of the numbers we did and move them back one. And I thought, he's right. We all have a ton of room to grow.
And grace.
And grace to give.
Yeah.
To ourselves.
Yes.
As
yes.
to them. And
that's so important.
In our caring circle. Wow, what a good lesson. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Your stories that you're telling us now are just like the stories that I read in your book. So it pulls me right back into that book. Maybe I should just read a chapter each night before I go to sleep, because they're so comforting.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We can figure this out is the message we want to send.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we can. We can figure this out.
We can ease the anxiety together in a collaborative way, and then applaud and, cheer each other on.
Yeah, because we all deserve it, don't we?
All deserve it. And that's the best way that I know to move forward. And we're going to screw up, and that's when we
will.
We do. Gosh darn it.
You're humans.
But I don't want to be a member of the matrix and have it all, put into my brain. I want to be able to, I want to be a person who will learn over and over again.
Yes.
Until my brain is just not ready to take anything else in. Which might happen, Oh, Wendy, what a tremendous storyteller you are. What a wonderful body of experience you've had to pull from. And what a commitment I sense in you to make this world work better for everyone, and especially autistic people. But it's amazing that no matter what we learn to help our autistic family members and the people that we love and ourselves, that it's going to help other people too.
Yes. Yeah. And that's really what we're all about, is making the world a better place, a safer place, a more comfortable place, and a place where people can feel good about the progress they've made, about the contribution that they can make, even if it's not the contribution they thought they could make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea this was where it was going to go, a long time ago, but nothing fits me or feels better than this. Ever.
Yeah. I never thought I would write a book, honestly. My husband was a writer, my late husband. He wasn't a sender out to publisher.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in that one right now. Just saying.
Well,
but I'm having trouble with is making it a priority. So I have to just make it a priority, because I'm so excited about what we're doing inside of my practice that writing about it is not, it's not on the top of my mind.
When the time is right, it will be.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, I know. And I've got it outlined, and I know what I want to do, and I know.
Okay.
So we're getting there, but yeah. And I just appreciate you leading the way on this, so that
thank you.
I can be inspired by all of what you've done, and then do my version of what works for me.
Yes. Go out there and do it, because the world needs more of what you have to offer and what all of us have to share. So when the time is right for you, your audience, your readers will be so happy that you put it out there.
I'm just excited about getting it down, because I've always wanted to write a book, but I didn't know what it was. And now I have a much better idea.
Now you know.
Now I know. Now I just got to do. And isn't that part of life right there? Knowing or doing is the second. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, I love retirement. I was in a group the other day. We're sharing about different things, because one of the challenges was post something on TikTok once a day for 30 days. And I didn't even know how to TikTok. I said, sure, I'll try that. So then I did that.
Did you?
And yeah, my TikTok handle is at Wendela50. So, so I'm doing the TikTok. And next I'll try the Instagram. And somebody said, how can you manage to do all the things you do? And I'll tell you, I don't have a day job. And my kids are all grown. If you have a day job and young children,
Cut yourself some slack.
those are absolutely. Those are big jobs. Yes. And you have to do those jobs first. I had to do 40 years of working for other people, for school districts. And now I don't work for anybody but me. My kids had to grow up. Now they're grown up. You know, we just, in every season, there is time to do what needs to be done, but we always prioritize. And now I can learn how to do TikTok, next Instagram.
Good for you. Wow. Isn't that fun? That is.
Well, learning something new is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you meet people.
Yeah.
You know, you meet a lot of people online that are like, these are my kind of people.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. We're going to be adults a lot longer than we were children.
Yes. I never thought of that. That is so true. So adulting, the art of adulting is so important.
It really is. And, those challenges that all humans have of getting things done, dealing with feelings and handling the people that we love and have to deal with. Those are universal challenges. They seem to be harder though they seem to just have an intensity difference. Maybe it's that anxiety that covers it. Anyway,
That could be.
it seems those are the things that are the hardest.
There's a lot of anxiety, and sometimes the political climate or worrying about the planet. The people I know who are autistic have tremendous empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've all heard that myth, oh, autistic people don't have empathy. I've never met a single autistic person, and I know hundreds.
Yes.
Not one of them lacks empathy. Not one. Many have extreme empathy that can shut them down.
Yes.
Many feel very deeply, but don't necessarily show it all on their face. They're not that kind of a person.
Right.
And some people, I've heard of one or two who have empathy once they connect it to something in their own life. It's like, oh, your dog died. I remember when my cat died. Oh my gosh, I know how you feel.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Terrible inside. Yeah. It's like losing a family member.
And some autistic folk, the way that they connect and show their empathy is by sharing a similar story where they can say, I feel what you're feeling because this happened to me. And far too often they get told, don't make everything about you.
Yeah.
Don't take over the conversation. It's like nobody was trying to take over.
I was trying to contribute.
Yes. And it's difficult for them to understand how their expression of empathy is misunderstood and rejected.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear that from a lot of people. And I think that's a shame because, they're just trying to express their empathy. And I'm not sure if there's like a formula of how much you can say. If you can just say, oh, I've experienced something similar. I know how you feel. But then don't tell them the story. Maybe that's, but every situation is different, isn't it?
And that's what makes it so complex and difficult.
Yes.
Is that interacting with others there's a lot of variables. Their preferences, how recent it is, how much they understand about different minds.
Yeah.
There's all those variables. I think it's such a challenge. Oh, wow. Yes. So there just is so much of that. So let me ask you this one question that, because I've created the peace process that works for me where we pause, then we empathize, then we align, then we collaborate, then we experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself to pause.
How do I get myself to pause?
Yeah. How do we slow things down enough so that we can respond instead of react? How you not, like you said, you shaped that coming out of your mouth. How were you aware enough? That's hard.
And part of it is humans are so diverse. And some are on a fast cycle where the ideas come up fast, and these are maybe our folk with ADHD or ADHD, where it's just coming up really fast. And then for some of us, there's like a chance to pause. I might think of an idea quickly, but it's not triggered into then having to say it out loud. And I learned in my relationship with David that if there was something that I was unhappy about, and this is before I knew he was autistic, but I thought, if I am, it's like, should I be mad about this? What I would do was wait a couple days. And a couple days later, it would either be, oh, that was nothing. Or let's schedule a time to sit down and talk about it when we're both calm. And that was my temperament, my personal speed. I was able to do that. I'm not saying everybody can do that. But I also am not good at coming back quickly with the right thing to say, the way somebody on a higher speed might be good at, coming up with something to say. I'm like, let me think about it, because that's my speed. And I don't have a secret of how to do that. But if you can make a determination of when I am mad, I will stop. It's like people always say, count to 10. But I'm going to say count to 2 days. Unless it's immediate, like this has to be solved right now because of, I don't know, safety issue or something. But most issues, like in a relationship, they can stand a couple days. And then make an appointment when everybody's calm to say, let's have a cup of coffee, let's talk about this thing.
Yeah.
And then listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's the strategy that will work so that we don't just say what's ever on our minds at that moment.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll come out and we'll have to apologize and still set an appointment.
We're all so different from each other.
Yes. Yes. And you want to honor those differences, not, suggest that there's anything wrong with him.
That's a good point. Honoring the differences. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's a lot. Well, what else do you want to make sure that we cover together today? Is there anything else that you'd like to highlight?
Well, I think the main thing that I would want to say to like late diagnosed autistic folk is there's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. And you've probably spent your lifetime thinking there was, but that was wrong. You have a different brain. It's not a worse brain. It's just a different brain. And you're living in a world that was set up by the majority brains. It was not set up for your comfort or your best ability. And you have been finding your way in this jungle of the neurotypical world setup. And, good for you. You've been amazing while autistic. And that's just it, honor that you've been doing very, very hard work, and to realize that it's not that hard for neurotypical people like me. It's harder for you, but you can do hard things. And I would love to someday have a world that was really accessible for all handicaps and understanding for all handicaps. And I acknowledge that we are not there yet, or disabilities. And I might, I'm old. I might say the wrong word. I don't know if that's, no longer an acceptable term. And I apologize if it is not. But while we're on our way to a world that really works for everyone, give yourself a break. Give yourself permission to recover after a social event. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you have to recover because there was so much social going on, the Thanksgiving dinner table or whatever it is, that you might need 2 days to stand in bed. And that's okay. That does not mean that you are lazy or broken. It just means that you are autistic and you need to honor what your body and your brain needs in order to keep going.
Yeah, because there's going to be just a stream of challenges.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we all have them, but it is harder when one is different from the majority in any way.
Yeah.
It just makes life harder. But, we can do hard things.
We can. We have.
Yes, been doing it all along.
We're doing it all along. So let's just keep on keeping on and figuring it out one little piece at a time. And
Yeah.
a little bit of a bubble up. It says that not everything they say I'm going to take in. It's got to be
That's good.
porous bubble, because we do have to take stuff in. But
Yeah.
we're going to open and sometimes we're going to close.
Yeah, like Glinda.
Yes.
Little bubble. You can open it and then step on the thing and it closes around you. A pink protective bubble. And forgive yourself. You deserve that grace from yourself as much as from anybody else. And I know it's easy to say, oh, I should have said that. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, no, I ruined that. But no, forgive yourself as you would forgive a loved one who made a mistake that was not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive yourself with that same level of caring that you would give to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a challenge. I find that's a challenge in in that we're constantly appraising ourselves as to whether or not we're meeting our own expectations. And when we don't, it's awful.
Yeah.
It feels awful.
Yeah. It does. And it's hard to forgive yourself, but we can do hard things.
We've got to surf that wave of awful and then
yes. And not go under it, but surf the top of it. Oh, I love that.
Again. Right?
Yeah.
And it will move along. And our emotions are there to help us notice what's going on.
And sometimes our brain doesn't know that we're not in danger. Our brain thinks danger, danger, anxiety, anxiety. And we have to say, thank you for sharing, brain. But there is no danger here. Mm-hmm. There is no tiger. This is just a social conversation. We will survive.
When driving, yes, accidents can happen, but they are not likely.
They don't usually happen. Yeah.
Right. We can navigate. And it's a really good thing that we can, because in this world, it's hard to get around. But we know people who don't ever drive. But
and that's okay too. They make the right choice for them.
If it's something you want, then let's figure out how to surf the wave of the anxiety and still drive.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to this, and you have lived it professionally and personally, and I love that you can tell the stories about it so that they come so alive for us.
Oh, thank you.
That is books very alive too. So I think that's where I've learned so much about people, is by reading. So
same. Yes.
I've read my whole life, and especially loved historical fiction for that reason. I could put myself in people's shoes in other cultures and understand.
And really immerse yourself in that.
Yes, yes. And I think that's why this whole, autism is its own world. Let's get in there. Let's figure out how that feels.
Yeah. And when the world has been harsh, when people have been mean, losing yourself in either a book, which is, I find, very easy to lose oneself in, or for some, a video game. In a video game, you can win. You can save the planet. You can rescue the princess. And so I don't tell parents, oh, don't let your kids play too much video games. Just like when they come home from school, they might need that.
Yeah, yeah.
They have been working. They've been doing very, very hard work just being in school. And now let them be in whatever the world is of their video game. Not like all day and all night, but
absolutely.
Yeah, better to ask, how much time do you need to self-regulate? And it might be 2 hours. It might be, I don't know. When they're losing sleep, then it's a safety and health issue because people have to sleep. But I do think it's important to allow autistic folk to self-regulate in the way that helps them. If it's just covering themselves up in the covers in their bed, or if it's playing video games, or if it's reading, or rewatching the same favorite movie or series again and again. These familiar things can really help us self-regulate and like put back on our armor to face a new day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just we got to feel good again to go back.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, you always, yeah, we could do this for a long time.
Oh, this is so much fun.
Yes. Well, I just so appreciate everything you've shared, and
Oh, thank you.
I really um, enjoy being in your presence because it's very calming and very inclusive, and you can tell that your heart is really in helping other people find what works for them.
And I see that in you as well and in your work. I'm grateful for you and for all the people that you reach and help, in your world and your courses. Thank you for doing that. It's wonderful.
It is truly my joy. I love it.
I get that.
We'll get this out to my folks, and wish you the very best, and I hope we stay in touch.
Oh, thank you. Let's do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.